Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Birds at the Rodeo. My name is Eric. I'm a residential Eagles fan.
I'm Orlando, the resident Cowboys fan.
And again, this is Birds at the Rodeo, episode 11. We are here. The season is flying by.
Absolutely. Needs to speed it up a little bit now.
Oh, he needs he needs it to speed up because I mean, let's be real. Dallas' season is over, but we'll get into that on a deeper note in a little bit. Hey, man, first and foremost, did you see Sunday Night Football?
Yeah, I saw most of that game for sure.
That was insane.
Yeah, definitely. I know a lot of the Texans fans they were sick after that.
Let me say this. First off, how do you lose a game in which you pick off the opposing quarterback 5 times?
That's ridiculous.
How do you lose a game like that? And on a crazier note, how do you win a game in which you throw 5 interceptions?
That's just that's the luxury. That's kind of what my point about. Just sometimes it's when you look around, it's what's around the quarterback a lot of the times. Because I mean, that was a quarterback you just had in your top 3, and he threw 5 picks and still was able to win the game.
No, his MVP stock definitely took a major drop off after that game. Major drop off.
Right. Right. I mean, that's insane. That's literally crazy. 5 interceptions and still winning the game. 5 interceptions.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying. I also think, like, God, dude, that was a Detroit game if there ever was a Detroit game. You know what I'm saying? Like, nitty gritty, everything's going wrong for you, and you still figure out a way after 5 interceptions. Like, if that's not a Detroit game, I don't know what is.
Really?
Like, I legit don't know what is. And I'm going to say this too, like, I guess kudos to Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson for not like throwing in the towel with Jared Goff after 4 interceptions, I guess, right? Because I mean, hey man, if that's your guy, and you're gonna ride with him. I guess I respect that.
I think as long as you're still in the game, you stick with them. But
I was sitting there asking myself, like, do they put Hendon Hooker in? Like, I mean, I'm not saying like bench Jared Goff for the season or whatever, but like obviously he does not have it going on right now.
Yeah, I can see that, but
right, like, yeah, I don't know. That just what a game. People over here talking about Kansas City and Denver. I'm like, nah, dude, Denver. Like, first off, side note, that's all the karma Sean Payton deserves. I don't care what anybody says. He deserves all that bad energy. All right, I'm not saying I hope he gets fired, but like, you put Russell Wilson out to pasture like that, and he's out here balling, and your team's over here losing on last minute field goal attempts getting blocked. I digress. But yeah, dude, Sunday Night Football, that was a crazy game. I truly appreciated watching that. That was crazy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like we can't stress it enough. Throwing 5 interceptions, turning the ball over that many times.
That does not happen.
Yeah.
Like you lost the turnover battle by 3.
My game with that many turnovers just in total.
It's insane. There were 7 interceptions total in that game.
Right.
7. And the team that lost the turnover battle won. They lost it by 3 and they won the game. I mean, in Houston, they're soul searching right now. In Detroit, I mean, I could see how someone viewed that as like, oh man, like they got to figure things out. I don't think so, dude. I think Detroit took that and they're riding that momentum because, again, that was a Detroit Lions football game if I've ever seen one, right?
Definitely. I think with the way their season has been going, that's a game where they're supposed to lose, but the fact that they didn't just builds off of what they've been doing all season.
And they won it in the most ugly fashion possible.
Right. I think normally I would say if you're winning all of your games in ugly fashion, right, that's not sustainable. That's not going to be. But if you've been dominating all season and you also are able to win the ugly ones, right, I think that'll fare well for like looking down the road. Stuff like that'll come in handy, like being able to gut wins like that out.
It makes you battle tested for sure.
Exactly.
But okay, obviously this is Birds at the Rodeo, right? And I mean, one of the biggest games of the season for us, respectively, right? Like us playing y'all in Dallas, that happened this past Sunday. What were your honest thoughts and takeaways watching the game?
I think there were two completely separate games played. I think the first
I
half
can agree with that.
was a separate game than the second half. I think throughout the entire game, I think it really just highlighted what I've been saying, that just to even be mediocre, to be the offense that we had to be a middle of the pack offense, Dak Prescott had to be perfect. Yeah. So when you put in Cooper Rush, who's not as good, who's not perfect,
I mean, he was below adequate at times.
I think before he had a couple of bombs at the end, but I think his average yards per attempt was like 1 point something yards.
He was missing a lot of throws.
He was missing a lot of throws. Any throw he completed was for 2, maybe 3 yards. Everything was at the sticks,
right?
And it was. And Jerry Jones said it, a lot of people kind of took his words incorrect. It's hard. It's because what he says things in the wrong way a lot of the time.
Jerry?
Yes.
What did he say?
He said something after the game, and the way he said it, it made it sound like he was saying that he thought that we'd be better without Dak. What he was saying was, even without Dak, he thought we would have been better than that.
Than what y'all put out.
He's seen Cooper Rush play better than that, which I agree. We have seen better than what we saw on Sunday. That was. I honestly, I don't even know if it was more so the scheme or just Cooper was just not
rusty
ready to play.
Yeah.
Because like we said, he did miss a lot of throws, but at the same time, like I said, the throws he were completing, they were so short. It wasn't. I was confused on what
the plan was.
Yeah, because I remember there were times it'd be 3rd and long, and he made a 4-yard completion on 3rd and 8. And
right.
It's like, how do we possibly have a chance? Because if, like I said, in the first half and the second half, those were 2 completely separate games. It was 7-6 at the end of the first half.
I agree.
And our defense, like I said coming into the game, the only way we have a chance to win that game is if our defense goes out there and holds a team to 12 points like they were in that span where Cooper Rush won 5 games.
Right.
And that's in that first half, they had a pick and 2 fumbles, or one fumble.
We had a pick and a fumble.
Yeah,
a fumble lost.
And then that was, and so we had a fumble. We had 2 fumbles.
Y'all had fumbleitis.
We had 2 fumbles. We had Cooper Rush dropped. That
bad snap.
Defense went in, got a 3 and out, or they might have got a first down. They got to stop pretty quickly, forced a punt.
Yeah,
and the first snap of the game, Cooper Rush drops the ball. Philadelphia falls on it.
And then Williams, baby.
That was y'all, and then y'all turn around and score on that, and that was the only touchdown our defense gave up in the first half.
Right.
And so then y'all did have another drive. I think because y'all had 10 points in it was 10-7. Because I remember y'all had a drive right at the end of the half. Yeah, that was y'all's one drive where y'all had a long drive and it ended with points. So I'm pretty sure y'all scored touchdown.
That was after Jalen threw that.
That red zone interception. Y'all did have another drive, but it ended in a red zone. That was I do blame Jalen because it wasn't. I think it was an amazing play by Diggs.
It was,
and I do blame, but only because there was an open receiver.
I know exactly. Yes, Grant Calcaterra was wide open. And you know what's crazy? Jalen Hurts literally said after the game, I told Grant that was going to be open. He said, I'm going to hit you, and then he didn't hit him. So I guess in one respect, right? Thank you, Jalen Hurts, for acknowledging that.
But
let's not make that mistake again, please. Exactly, I mean, Grant was screaming open.
Definitely.
But no, like you said, man, it was 2 separate games played in one game, right? The first half, I mean, dude, I'm not gonna lie, I was getting sick to my stomach. I'm sitting here, we know what the deal is, right? Dallas, they're not playing for much right now. Y'all's team is depleted, not a lot of talent all around, right? We are a team with Super Bowl aspirations. We are starting to dominate. We just beat up on the Bengals. I'm expecting us to come in there and dominate, right? First half, like you said, Jalen, offense is looking sporadic. Poor turnovers, just poor ball handling all around. We're missing wide open guys. the offensive play calling was iffy. Saquon wasn't getting that many touches. Defense was doing pretty good, but like it was just a weird half of football. And I'm like, what is going on, dude? Like this is what I'm talking about. We played down to the level of our competition sometimes, and then the second half came, and we started to roll on y'all, and I'm like, okay. Like I'm not gonna lie, at the end of the game, like I was almost like. I was upset, but I wasn't like I don't know. Like, if you're asking me right now, am I confidently saying the Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl contenders and like we have a shot to win it? I don't even know if I can confidently say that, dude, because I don't see it on a consistent enough basis, like to where it's like, all right, cool, we're playing the lowly Cowboys. We should go roll on them, and yeah, we rolled on the first half, but the second half, but the first half, I mean, what that was, I don't even know what that was, right? And we got a tougher schedule coming up, dude. We got Washington Thursday night, we got the Rams, and then we got the Ravens. All right, those are, I mean, come on, man. The Rams, they just lost on Monday Night Football to the Dolphins, but like, make no mistake about it, the Rams can be in any game as long as Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, and Matthew Stafford are healthy. All right, that's a fact. And the Ravens, well, we know what they're capable of, right? I mean, they're probably the best team in football right now. I mean, it's either them or Detroit. Pick your poison. I mean, Kansas City, yeah, they're up there. They're still undefeated, but like, I don't know who I would take right now out of those three teams. Kansas City, I mean, maybe I'll take them just because they got Patrick Mahomes, but I don't know, right? All I know is Kansas City, Detroit, and Baltimore. Those are the three top teams in the league. And yeah, I guess you could say Philly's fourth, right? However you want to slice it, but like, I don't know, man. Yes, I'm happy we dominated in the second half, right? I love that. I love the response that we saw that. And then again, I talked about that before, right? Like the response to adversity. I love that we have that in our locker room, and especially at the quarterback position, right? Jalen could have easily faltered after that bad interception, after that bad fumble, right? Everybody, yes, and again, it was a great play by Trayvon Diggs, but like we just said, and Jalen Hurts even said it at his press conference, Grant Calcaterra was wide open, and he literally just did not throw it. Those have got to stop, because against the better teams, we're not going to get a chance to redeem ourselves like that, right? Like, it's just not going to happen.
I think even the fumble he got, that was also just a good play by Micah. Yeah. And like you're saying, it's when other teams, like say y'all were playing the Lions, a team that gets just that forces turnovers. We got
Baltimore in 2 weeks, man.
Or like, yeah, you play Baltimore, who say they force a turnover.
Right.
It's Lamar Jackson trying to put.
It's Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry,
not Cooper Rush and Ezekiel Elliott.
No. So we got to clean up the little things, man. We got to clean up the mistakes. God, dude, yeah, it's so perplexing being an Eagles fan right now, because like on one hand, it's like, God, are we there? Like, yeah, you want to say you're there, but then on the other hand, it's like, God Almighty, my head coach, I don't trust him on a week-to-week basis, right? I don't know what version of this team I'm going to get on a week-to-week basis, right? And yeah, like I know I've seen all the, I know all the numbers and the stats. Jalen Hurts, he's had 16 touchdowns, 2 turnovers since our bye week. His numbers look really good, honestly, for the most part. But it's like, it's just. And again, I know you don't believe in the eye test, right? But it's like you see it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like when your team, like your team is on a heater, and you're like, all right, yeah, like we're starting to get in a roll, right? I don't feel like I thought the Cincy game and the Jacksonville game was going to be that for us, and like it seemed like we started it a little bit right, but then the Dallas game we reverted back a little bit. So like honestly, like what I need to see against Washington, against Los Angeles, and Baltimore coming up, man, we need to start to go on a full out heater. We need to come out and dominate. Washington,
start playing complete games.
Start playing complete games from start to finish. Right, we got Washington coming up Thursday Night Football. Yeah, Jaden Daniels is good, and they're overachieving right now a little bit. But hey, man, if you ask me personally, talent wise, I think we washed Washington for the most part. They got some good players over there, but I think we washed them, dude. Like, we need to come out here and put our foot on their necks. All right. And then we got the Rams coming up, put our foot on their necks too. And Baltimore, that's going to be the game. That might be the game of the season. It might. If we come ready to play, they come ready to play. Who knows what's going to happen in that game? All right. So, all in all, yeah, obviously happy to get a win. We'll go 1-0 each week, but I'm I guess I'm still in my same spot, right? Cautiously optimistic, right? I keep saying that. I can't wait for when I can just say, nah, bro, like we are Super Bowl contenders and we can play with anybody. I can't wait till I can say that. I hope I can say that by the end of the season. We will see. On the flip side of that, though, our season not being over, y'all season officially being over with the news Dak Prescott's officially going on IR, getting the surgery on the hamstring.
Yeah, I mean, with him, his season is over.
Season's over.
Our season was already over.
Yeah.
Whether he was missing the rest of the season, him being out for an extended amount of time.
Yeah, I mean that was the ticket though. Like I said, right? That should be the ticket for y'all.
And so it started. Maybe
last week. Really,
it started like we said. We every win we could potentially accumulate going forward just hurts our draft pick. And
so for the record, you don't want y'all to win another game.
No.
Okay.
Even this game.
Who do y'all play? Who do y'all play this week?
We play the. Oh my goodness. I actually don't know.
I mean, I guess once the season's over, you might mentally check out a little bit. I get it.
I want to know. I'm gonna look it up.
He's looking at it.
But I was trying to just think of it off the top of my head.
I know. Yeah, no, I get you. We'll edit this.
Oh, I was literally planning the Texans.
Y'all played. Oh, Monday Night Football.
I was literally planning on going to this
Monday
game.
Night Football.
A huge brain fart.
Yeah.
So yeah, but
Monday Night Football.
I was gonna say even this Eagles game.
Yeah.
I would have had the most mixed emotions ever had we won.
Yeah.
Right.
Because like, what are we doing?
You never want to root for your. It's hard to root for your team. You don't want to lose,
right? But like, what position your team is in. It's like it'd be better for y'all to lose.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I get that.
But that's my thing. Another thing I want. It's that just shows. It shows that game showed me that I would never just be okay. Like when people say they would just rather they want the team to lose or they would hope even in a game where I knew we had no hope, that first half, I had a great time watching that.
Yeah.
And that second half, that was terrible to watch.
Did you cut the game off at one point?
No.
No? Okay. I was wondering, I was going to text you and be like, I wondered if he cut the game off yet. But no, yeah, I mean, I think as fans, right, like we all, and I mean, I've gotten to points, like I'm a Michigan fan, Michigan Wolverines fan. I've said it a long time ago. Our season's been done. All right, I still watch. I only watch because I'm from there. I'm from Michigan, right? Like I'm gonna ride for my team, but I know we suck. I know it's over,
right? And I was trying to say that when people say because we've gone 12-5 these last few seasons, and yes, we lost in the first round of the playoffs or the second round 1 year,
right?
And the people say that that's just because the outcome is the same. It's the same as going 3-12 or 3-14 or whatever, and that's so crazy to me because in this game alone, the outcome was the same. The first half happened, and the second half, that first half was so much more enjoyable to watch. Like, I don't understand how people just throw out the week to week aspect or even the in game aspect. Like, how do you not get excited? How is it not more exciting to see your team do well throughout even if the outcome isn't?
I think I get both sides of it, right? I think it's like, because on one breath, it's like, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And I guess for y'all, right, y'all have gone 12-5, the past 3 seasons? Or like whatever, however long Mike McCarthy's been there, right? And I think for them, it's like, well, if we just keep getting bounced in the first round of the playoffs, then what are we doing? So like, I get that, but it's also like, I feel like those fans have never experienced a sincerely losing season like y'all are probably about to experience now. Right, like y'all in the midst of experiencing right now. Y'all were not fans of the 0-16 Detroit Lions or the 4-12 Philadelphia Eagles. We were 4-12 like not even 10 years ago.
No, even when Dak got hurt in 2020, I think we went 5-12.
Right, like dude, like no, it sucks.
Exactly,
it sucks. Like when your team is not good. Like I'm telling you right now. If you're a Giants fan right now, you just lost to the Panthers in Germany. If you're a Giants fan right now, you just lost to the Carolina Panthers led by Bryce Young in Germany, dog. I know y'all going through it. Like, I don't want to experience that.
No, that's always my rebuttal. It's look at the rest of the league. You can't tell me that even though we lost in the first round after going 12-5, that wasn't more enjoyable than what the Giants did that same season.
No, it's no. But I mean, at a certain point, every franchise has to go through it a little bit, right? I mean, you'll get lucky if you're a Patriots fan, I guess, and your team just runs off a dynasty or the Chiefs. But everybody got to go through a little bit. But let me ask something in terms of Dallas, right? Before we look ahead to 2025 for y'all, is there anything that you're gonna is there any players that even young guys on the roster or anything maybe a DeMarion Overshown, or I know he got hurt though.
No, that's why take everybody out
so you don't
wrap everybody up and just because he was
his was a non-contact injury too. I was oh no.
Micah came back, he looked really good, but Overshown was by far. I mean, Micah got that.
Dude, he had two quick sacks like crazy.
He was all over the place, and so seeing him go down, that was so it hurt to watch him go down.
Yeah,
in a meaningless game like that.
Did they say what it was?
He's fine.
Okay.
He's not too hurt, but.
So there's no young players you want to watch and see develop. You just want everybody to stay in the house.
No, I've seen enough from Overshown to where I want him for next year. I mean, there are young guys.
Kalen Carson, I guess you could probably see if he can possibly.
I think our young linemen definitely need the reps, but in terms of Kalen Carson, I think he's
because Jerome Bland, is he even going to come back now, bro?
I'm disgusted. At this point, no, there's no point. He was supposed to miss. They told us his injury was going to be 6 weeks.
Right.
2 weeks before the season even started.
Yeah.
And here we are in week 11.
Yep.
And he hasn't seen the field.
Yeah, I mean setbacks happen, but I haven't seen it. Has it been setbacks with him? Or?
I haven't. It's not. They haven't said anything of the such. They said. I think it was before the Steelers game. They said he was prepping to come back, and he still has not seen the field.
Right.
And that's why when it comes to Kalen Carson, he was I think a fourth round. No, because we traded our fourth round pick for Trey Lance, so didn't have a fourth round pick this year.
Was he a fifth round pick?
He was either a third or a fifth round pick. Maybe even he was a late round draft pick. Yeah. And he's not supposed to be. I did have high hopes for him coming into the season just based off what I saw in training camp.
Right.
But he's shown he's just not good enough to be guarding number one receivers.
No.
If we had Trayvon Diggs, Deron Bland guarding AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, maybe he could guard Jahan Dotson. Maybe he could guard some, but asking him to guard AJ Brown one-on-one is just coaching malpractice at that point.
Coaching malpractice.
I'm just gonna say
that's funny. Coaching malpractice
at this point, because with the injuries the team is sustained, you can't even really be mad at the because like I say all the time, I'll be mad at Jerry for the team, but he put together a good cornerback
Al
room
Harris
in terms
is looking to play the guys he has.
Exactly, he can only play who he has, but that doesn't mean you just leave the fifth round rookie on an island with one of the best receivers in the NFL.
Right.
So
no, I get you. So you are fully keep everybody in the house.
Yes.
Don't let nobody else get hurt.
No, because that's the thing. If we can. Where we're at right now, we're in the position to get a top draft pick and have everybody healthy. If we lose anybody else, the later we lose someone in the season to injury, the farther their recovery time could be back, could be pushed back for next season.
Right. So with that being said, do you want Cooper Rush to keep starting, or do you actually? What were your thoughts on Trey Lance? Because we saw Trey Lance get in the game a little bit. What were your thoughts on that?
He's not good. He cannot do anything except run the football.
So I guess
the Dallas Cowboys, and that's another thing. They have no clue what they're doing. I mean, if this is just all a plan in the business of tanking, then I guess. But if it just seems like they just don't know what they're doing more so than not really trying
as an
to
organization.
Win. No, in terms of a play style, what they did. With Cooper Rush and Trey Lance, they were running a high school offense. My senior year of high school, that is the exact offense that they ran.
Yeah.
We had a young running back. A young quarterback who was pretty much only a threat with his legs.
Yeah.
And then our senior, because we had a back, literally our starting quarterback got hurt. Our backup quarterback wasn't that mobile, but also couldn't really throw well. But then we had a freshman who came in who could really only run. If the freshman was in, it was a quarterback run. And he would run the ball. Yeah, and so it's like that's what high schools do.
Dude, when I tell you, Lando, that is legit the offense Michigan runs right now. Because it's just.
I don't know how they think that it's. Even if you're trying to win, I don't understand how you think that could work when everyone knows what you're doing if that's how you're running your offense.
Right. Okay. So by your previous logic, like I think you said in the last episode too, right? Like you said at first you didn't want Trey Lance to play.
No, I don't want him to play at all.
Because you think y'all could possibly trade him down the road, right? Is that was why, right?
Well, the thing, he's a free agent at the end of this season.
Yeah.
So
I don't think you picked up his 5th-year option, right?
So I don't know. We can't trade him, but we can get, if he signs other players, we can get like conditional picks.
Yeah.
So we need him to be able to sign somewhere else. And like I said,
okay. So you want to stay with Cooper Rush?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I think neither gives us a chance to win.
No.
So.
Yeah. I mean, the season's over.
No, that's what, that's what I don't want us to win. That's why
right.
And that's
right.
And
well, I'm saying because like Trey Lance, obviously,
no matter who we go with, we're gonna lose. So we might as well let Trey Lance get higher conditional picks when people still think there's potential there.
Right.
If anybody still thinks there's potential there, because Jerry, he's probably the only person who thinks that.
Kyle Shanahan literally is the luckiest guy on the planet that he found Brock Purdy. That's all I'm gonna say because. Yeah, remember they traded what 2 first-round draft picks to move up to get Trey Lance?
Yeah, I think that was just
that's crazy.
I don't think it's crazy. I think it's
I think it's crazy.
It's they gambled and lost.
That was a huge gamble
because that's most people when they trade up to get like a quarterback out of the draft. That's what they do.
Yeah, my thing is like Trey Lance. He only started 1 season in college football, and
you're the college footballist, right?
It was just you don't trade up for him. You trade up for a Joe Burrow. You trade up for a Lamar Jackson. Lamar fell to the 3rd.
Nobody traded up for Lamar Jackson.
They just let him fall to Baltimore at 32.
Yeah,
like you know what I'm saying. You don't trade up. You don't trade up for a Trey Lance. In my opinion, you don't do that. But okay, yeah. So
I'm against trading up for a quarterback in general. Yeah.
Okay, so you never. Okay, yeah. Well, I think it depends. Because
in my opinion, everybody is a gamble. Everybody. No,
absolutely.
I genuinely think coming out of college. I genuinely think coming out of college, everybody is the exact is an equal. In terms of gambling, I think trading up for Joe Burrow is an equal gamble as trading up for Trey.
That's fair.
Because you just never
you don't
know.
It's a crapshoot. Especially with quarterbacks, it's a crapshoot, right? Because and again, until proven otherwise, right? Bryce Young is not looking like he should have been picked number 1 overall.
Exactly.
Right. So it's always a crapshoot. I'm saying God, because who else was in Trey Lance's draft? Dang, I can't remember right now, but I know it was guys with more college experience, right? More.
I think Trevor Lawrence was that draft. I think he was.
He in that draft?
I think he was but I think that draft, Trevor Lawrence is the only quarterback still
on that same team. On the same team,
really even in the league.
Well, Trevor Lawrence, Mac Jones, who's his backup now, right? That's another great example too, right there, right? Trevor Lawrence. He is underwhelming at best, right? And he was the next generational guy, right? He was compared to Manning and all this and that, right? He was the next great thing coming out, but he hasn't lived up to the hype either. I think he got paid prematurely too. I've said that before.
It was Trevor Lawrence, then Zach Wilson, then Trey Lance. Then the next quarterback picked was Justin Fields, then Mac Jones.
Yeah.
And then let me see if there's another first round.
Crazy.
No, those are all the first round quarterbacks picked that
and
draft.
It's crazy because Trevor Lawrence again, he hasn't been great his career, but
he's the best one, and I think he's right.
You can say he's overrated right now. I wouldn't even say overrated. Well, is he? I wouldn't even say overrated. I think he got overpaid. I definitely think he got overpaid.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
But yeah, like even in that, right? Like it's a crapshoot because everybody Jacksonville took him thinking like I said, he's going to be the next Peyton Manning or he's the next big thing out of Clemson, and he has not lived up to that on a consistent basis. Like he's shown a little bit of flashes, but no, I mean I wouldn't have paid him. I wouldn't have paid him yet. I'm not gonna lie.
That's why I disagree with all of the let Dak walk and just find somebody in the draft, guys.
Right. Oh yeah, no. A lot of y'all, like Cowboys fans, I'm sure a lot of y'all now are just like, all right, let's trade Dak, let's draft somebody, we'll fix it. Y'all's problems are way bigger than that, bro.
And you're banking on a team who honestly hasn't shown the ability to has never shown
to draft a QB high.
Has never shown the ability to draft a quarterback, but since Troy Aikman, which was
because who after Troy, y'all drafted.
We have the I think Quincy Carter,
right? Y'all drafted him in the first round, right?
He was. I think he's the only first round quarterback, and he wasn't like a top first round pick,
right?
And even if you look at the rest of our picks. Our last few drafts haven't been the best.
In terms of quarterbacks?
In terms of players in general.
Okay.
We have one, like if you look around the league, a lot more people are hitting on their draft picks than we are.
Right. Yeah, so this upcoming draft is going to be important.
We've had, in the last few years, we have one, maybe two picks a draft where I'm like, where they're still, starting caliber players.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, really ideally, like, if you're drafting a player, and obviously not in the first round, I'll say third round and on, right? Like third round and under or lower. You really just anticipate that person being able to get on special teams, and contribute, be a solid contributor to a 53-man roster, right? Maybe they can spell a spotter every now and again. Maybe they can develop into a starter down the road, but ideally they can make the 53-man roster. That is ideally what you're looking for.
Like right now, our last draft we had Tyler Guyton.
Yep.
He's doing, but as a first round pick, you would wish he'd be doing better.
Yeah.
Marshawn Nealon
he got hurt, right?
He was. So, yeah, DeMarcus Lawrence got hurt.
Yep.
Michael Parsons got hurt. And then Marshawn Nealon got, so he's not even playing.
Yep.
Cooper Beebe, he's playing pretty well. But like I said, one, maybe two players in each draft.
Was he a second round draft pick?
Third.
Okay.
Maris Leofau, he's shown some flashes. Right? Yes.
Yeah.
I'd say he's playing as well as you'd think a late third round pick would play.
Okay.
Didn't have a fourth round pick, traded it for Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Didn't have a fifth round pick. I think that got traded for Amari. That was the one that got traded with Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
And then Kalen Carson, like I said, so he was
he a sixth round draft pick?
He was a fifth round
draft pick.
A super late fifth round draft pick.
Yeah.
Not playing well.
Yeah.
Ryan Flournoy, remember him?
Talked about
And then Nathan Thomas and Justin Rogers, haven't heard a single thing. Yeah, haven't heard a single thing about them.
Right.
That was and then I want to just point this. I'm going to just go to this last one. Not going to go too many drafts, but then because these last two drafts were like really bad.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, Cooper Beebe in this last draft is the only person who's playing well.
He's the gem,
I'd say.
Yeah.
Then last year's draft, first round pick Mozzie Smith. Terrible. At this point, it can be considered a draft bust. Luke Shoemaker, draft bust. Demarion Overshown,
gem, absolutely.
Diamond in the rough.
Right.
Villamy Fehoko, giving us nothing. Akeem Richards, giving us nothing.
He played a little bit for y'all on Sunday, though. Because somebody got hurt, I think.
I think Tyler Guyton didn't even play last game.
I think, actually, you're right. I think, Richards did start. I think you're right.
Yeah. Eric Scott Jr., DN, not doing much. Deuce Vaughn, healthy scratch every week. And Jalen Brooks, I think every pass that's
the receiver, right?
Yeah,
83. Is that 83? Yeah.
I think every pass thrown to Jalen Brooks is a wasted down. He's not good enough he's never open, and he gets so many. And Dak targets him pretty entirely too much for me, and it's like a couple times a game. But Cooper Rush, man, maybe it's like their backup.
That's his guy in the scout team.
Yeah, their scout team reps. But he was targeting Jalen Brooks in that game.
Okay.
And I got to look. I actually want to know what his target and
At the
catches
game?
were in
Oh
that
my
game.
God, that's funny.
He was not getting the ball. He was not catching the ball.
Right. No, it's funny. While you looked it up, it's funny when you mentioned like draft and development. Right. I will say like, and I'm not just saying this because I'm an Eagles fan. Well, like I guess I am, but like I feel like we do a tremendous job of scouting and developing our talent, even later round draft picks. You know, Sidney Brown we found in the third round, really good safety for us. Keely Ringo, we drafted him in the 5th round. Nakobe Dean, we drafted him in the 3rd round. Nolan Smith, and he was drafted in the 1st round, but he was a steal because like how we traded back up into the 1st round to get him. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we do a really good job of developing talent. We have a really good assistant coaching staff, like especially on the O-line. Jeff Stoutland, to me, best O-line coach in football. Shit, we turned Jordan Mailata. We turned a former pro rugby player into an all-pro left tackle, bro. Like what? If that's not development, I don't know what is, right? So real quick, I just wanted to shout out, like, and you're right in that, right? Like, you got to hit on your draft picks, and then you got to be able to develop those draft picks.
Right.
Right? Because if you can't, then what are we doing? Like, you're just back on the drawing board every offseason.
Right.
Right. So, yeah, this upcoming 2025 draft for y'all is going to be super important just in terms of, like, what y'all's foundation is moving forward. And, I mean, to be honest, y'all's whole team could look a lot different. And I guess should look a lot different come that time, right? I mean, I'm assuming you'll probably have a new head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because Mike McCarthy should be gone. Mike Zimmer should be gone. Brian Schottenheimer, he should be going. I mean, I don't know what he's doing there because we know Mike McCarthy is running the show. So offensively, yeah, y'all just need a whole new look.
Yeah. In that game, Jalen Brooks, 4 targets too many, 1 catch, 4 yards.
1 catch, 4 yards, 4 targets. Yeah. No, go back to the practice squad, Jalen Brooks. Go back to the practice squad.
And I don't want to completely just dog on our scouting department. Like we have.
Y'all found some guys.
It was though we've just had 2 back-to-back bad drafts because the draft before that's when we found Tyler Smith.
Right.
We found Jake Ferguson, 4th round. DeRon Bland was 5th round.
Right.
So that was all the same draft. And then I remember we got Diggs and CD were just high round picks.
Trayvon, what was he? He was a 2nd round draft pick, right?
We got 1st and 2nd.
Right.
We got them in the 1st and 2nd round. But Micah's draft was really bad. We got Micah, and then everybody after him was.
Dude, I wanted Micah coming out so bad. But it's okay.
And I remember I wanted a corner. I wanted Patrick Surtain coming out of that draft.
Yeah,
I mean,
all pro for the Broncos.
Never brought because we desperately needed. I wanted him to pair him with Diggs.
Trayvon, yeah,
that would have been. Yeah,
I mean, shoot. Hey, speaking of secondary, man. I mean, shout out Howie Roseman because he hit on 2 in our first 2 draft picks this past draft. Number 1 in Quinyon Mitchell. Number 2 in Cooper DeJean. Those guys are going to be locking up our secondary for the next 10 plus years, hopefully. But okay, yeah. I mean, there's a bow on Dallas' season, right? Like that's what it is, right? It's a bow on Dallas' season. It is what it is. You're just looking ahead in 2025. So are you going to start watching college football a little bit more to tap in and see who you really want?
No, I know who I want. You know, I got my guys.
He said it before. Soon we're gonna do like a not necessarily mock draft, or maybe we'll do like a mock draft where we just like pick the players we want.
Yeah.
We'll do that soon. But hey, man, okay, keeping things around the NFL. There's a few firings in the past few weeks. I just want to say I called this first one that we're going to talk about. Shane Waldron, offensive coordinator, Chicago Bears, is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said. Gone. I don't think that'll be the only firing in Chicago. I think Matt Eberflus, I think his seat is red hot right now. I'm not going to lie. I think it's red hot. I think more change to come. I think Ryan Pauls is probably going to wait to the end of the season to fire him because, like, I don't know. That's typically how it happens, right? Like, they'll fire offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators first, and then they'll fire the head coach afterwards. Like, that's just typically how it works because I guess you don't want to clean house right then in the middle of the season. But yeah, no, Chicago, they got changes coming. The Saints fired Dennis Allen, which I'm not surprised at all. Because if you look at his head coaching record, he was bad with the Raiders. He wasn't good with the Saints. And the Saints they look lost. They dominated their first 2 games. They haven't looked good since.
It makes us getting dominated by them disgusting.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you they kill us and then they lose every game following.
Right.
I just don't understand how that happened to our team. I think that was a clear coach, like a clear case of someone being out coached.
Yeah,
which is hilarious that
the guy that got fired.
Yeah, Mike McCarthy still has his job, and the guy who absolutely embarrassed him got fired before he did.
Right. Well, okay, hold on. Speaking of Mike McCarthy, because that kind of leads into my next point. Do you feel like the Grim Reaper is waiting at his door too? Do you feel like Jerry's just going to wait until the end of the season?
Yeah, no, he's not going to fire him. He's just not going to renew his contract. Exactly like he did with Jason Garrett.
Right. Okay, so you expect clean house, wholesale changes come the end of the season
because Mike Zimmer is only on a 1-year contract, and this is the last year on Mike McCarthy's contract.
Right.
Pretty sure it'll just be a clean slate coaching wise.
Yeah. Okay, so you expect more changes to come, and you expect Dallas to make sweeping changes.
Absolutely.
Do you anticipate? I mean, I feel like I know the answer to this question, but do you anticipate them making any changes to the front office?
No.
Yeah,
they have no reason to.
Yeah. It's going to be a Jones run organization until it's not, right? Okay. Well, yeah, we'll see, man. I think a few coaches' seats are getting hotter. Like I said, Matt Eberflus, Jeff Ulbrich. I know he's only the interim coach with the Jets, but like, I don't think he's going to be getting a contract extension anytime soon unless the Jets fully turn it around, which it doesn't sound they're capable of it. And, it might be bigger than him at this point. They got a lot of issues in New York.
Yeah.
Brian Dable with the Giants. I don't think he should be fired, but I think he might get the short end of the stick on this one.
Right.
I mean, although he's talking about now, did you see he's not he said he doesn't know who's gonna be the starter moving forward with the quarterback?
That's what I was about to say. I think they'd be better inclined to get rid of Daniel Jones.
Yeah. But this is last year.
You basically give Dayball a better
give him an actual shot.
Right. Give him an actual shot. A new quarterback. So they'll probably be drafting a quarterback this season.
Dude, I'm telling you, if you ever just go watch that Hard Knocks with the Giants, bro. Brian Daboll wanted Jaden Daniels so bad. He wanted him so bad. But who knows, man? Look, he might have Drew Lock in there starting for him. Maybe that turns it around. I don't know. The Giants have so many issues. I'm not saying turn it around like they're gonna be a playoff team, right? But like maybe they can run an offense.
Hey, win some games. Get y'all's worse than y'all's draft pick so ours gets better.
Look at this guy. He's rooting for the Giants to win some games. So yeah, no, we'll see, man. Really, I guess essentially the NFC East could look a lot different next year.
Absolutely.
Right, in terms of the Giants, in terms of the Cowboys, Washington, and Philly. I mean, Philly, like I said, Nick Sirianni, he could be on his way out. And I want that to happen. We'll see. We will see. But hey, man, I saw a stat. The game against when I was watching Baltimore and Cincinnati last week, right? And I saw a crazy stat which nobody is talking about. Do you know what I saw?
What?
Derrick Henry rushed for 1,000 yards in 9 games. He broke the record.
Yeah,
because Ricky Williams had the record, right, for rushing for 1,000 yards in 10 games. Derrick Henry rushed for 1,000 yards in 9 games.
It's insane what he's doing right now.
That man is insane. He's crazy. First ballot Hall of Famer. With all that being said, who do you have as your midseason MVP?
I think this season is showing a lot of different things in terms of, I think it's supporting my narrative that the quarterback should not be getting as much credit or blame for wins and losses just in general. I think that it's showing a lot of the games across the season. I think a lot of people would have had Jared Goff as their midseason MVP for having the Lions
I can't put them right there right now
because of their record. But after like we said earlier, playing against the Houston Texans, having 5 interceptions, and they still win the game.
Right.
It goes to show that a lot of their wins are because of just their team around is just such a good team.
Right. And I won't say just real quick. I'm not gonna say Jared Goff. He's had a good season. It hasn't he hasn't been putting up crazy numbers, but he's had a good season. But you can't throw 5 picks and just still be in the MVP conversation like that, dog. I'm sorry, that can't happen.
I don't think you can be in the MVP conversation when you're because
you don't feel like he's the driving force
because in the sense that the main argument for him would be because of their record.
Yeah.
But when you see that, when he has games where he's not even just the 5 picks, he has a game where they won and he threw 85 yards.
Right. Like, I think the biggest thing for him this season has been like his completion percentage has been super, super efficient. He's just been very efficient with the football, turnover free until last game. Mm-hmm. Right. He's played clean football. And when you're playing clean football at the quarterback position on one of the best teams in the league, right, you're going to get looked at more, right? The spotlight's going to be on you more. So I think really that's what's come down to with him specifically.
I think that as well as if you look across, I think because then I think if you go back to last year's MVP, that what Lamar Jackson has done this year, I can't remember the numbers, but I saw something that said I think he has close to the same numbers already this year than he had last year. Yes, and I saw a Ravens.
Really? I don't know. I need to look at that because
I have to find because I saw a Ravens fan talk about it, and in my head I was like, that's not the flex you think it is, in the sense that yes, it means he's playing well this year. Yeah, but in terms of it makes me think that last year he wasn't playing that well.
It was last year. To me, it was close up until that San Francisco game when Baltimore played San Francisco and they went into San Fran and steamrolled them. To me, that was the ceiling game for Lamar for MVP.
I could see that. I think that I get that. I feel like that.
Because, I mean, the talk at that point was really like, I mean, Dak was still in the conversation, but it was really like Lamar, Purdy, and then Dak, right? And Brock was having a pretty good season, and Lamar's having a really good season, and then they go in there. Baltimore's defense makes Brock Purdy look like a high school quarterback. Lamar is slicing up one of the best defenses in the league. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, okay, like Lamar's MVP.
I think that's
what I took away from it.
I can see what you're saying, and like that being like the pivotal game, but I think that kind of just ignored the rest of the season in terms.
Well, that was a pretty late game in the season. That was a Christmas game.
Yeah, I think that the rest of I genuinely think like he had a mediocre season.
Lamar Jackson
last season, yes.
You know, people gonna start thinking you a Lamar Jackson hater, bro.
I mean, he had 9 games worth of touchdowns. That's what he has right now. I think his number. He showed up in a lot of big moments, and I feel like that's good for narrative wise. But I think the entire season's body of work.
I need to look at his numbers.
An MVP level season. And like speaking, like you said, I will be a Lamar Jackson hater. I definitely want to clarify that when I said Dak Prescott was a better player, that instantly contradicted my entire argument. It's not Dak Prescott's a better player than Lamar Jackson.
Okay,
it's that Lamar Jackson is not a better player than Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is not a better player than Lamar Jackson. When they're in that, the people in that
you're
category,
saying they're equal.
It's like I don't see that Lamar Jackson or Dak Prescott can affect the game more than the other.
Okay,
I think they affect.
I disagree, but I see your point.
I think they'll affect the game in a different way, but the results will be the same given what the rest of the team does, what the rest of the defense does, what the receivers, what the game plan is. Right. I think. And that goes for, like, I had the people in that tier I named them were Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, C.J. Stroud.
Did you say Joe Burrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's it.
That might be, yeah.
Then the next one is Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, well, I guess I'd throw Kirk Cousins like at the lower end of that tier 1. Because Kirk puts numbers up, bro. Like I
would put Kirk in the second one.
In the second, yeah. I mean, the one I'm naming now. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you can put him anywhere. I probably put him at the bottom of tier 1.
Yeah, so it's like so right. But I think that all these guys, they like I said, they just affect the game in different ways, but are good enough to give you the same results. Just giving, I think football is just too much of a game that depends on what other people are
10
doing.
Other guys on the field.
Yes.
Yeah.
To think that one player
I don't disagree. Well, I don't disagree, but I don't know because football is like the ultimate team game, right? Because if one person isn't doing their job, that messes up the whole play,
right?
Right. At the same time, though, like,
what is this? If your rankings and what you want I think if it's based off results, then that there isn't too much disparity between the two,
between Dak and Lamar.
And any of the quarterbacks in that category.
Aside from Patrick Mahomes.
Yes. I think that if you take...
In terms of like championships and playoffs, sure. But in terms of like, and I guess, that's when you get into like individual accolades of it, right? Like Lamar Jackson's a unanimous MVP, bro. He's a 2-time MVP. That's not something easily, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, yeah, like I said, I agree with the unanimous MVP, but I mean, we can pull up the numbers.
I need to look at his numbers again. Okay, hold on. So, like, all that being said, though, like, who is your MVP right now for this season?
Derrick Henry.
Okay. Yeah,
I think,
no, you can absolutely make that argument.
It's hard because I feel like the crazy thing is, if it's not Derrick Henry, it's Lamar. But they're on the same team, so it's like, how can you say?
I'm with you because, like, I'm not gonna lie, I found myself like talking about Saquon in the MVP conversation. I'm not saying he should, like, he's the front runner. I'm not saying but I think he should be in.
I could get with that.
In the same breath that Derrick Henry has rushed for 1,000 yards in 9 games, Saquon was knocking on the door. He was at 945.
And they won't give him the ball.
945 ball. Yeah.
Like, I'm a Cowboys fan, and I'm like, just give him the ball.
I know, dude. It's infuriating sometimes. But like,
also, sometimes the Ravens don't give Derrick Henry the ball
they
enough.
Don't. It's weird. Like, down the stretch against Cincy last week, first of all, the way that game ended was crazy. But they weren't giving Derrick Henry the ball down the stretch. I don't know, dude.
Would you have given Nick Sirianni's history and what his decision making? What would you have wanted to kick the field goal in that Cincy game or go for 2 after getting that touchdown?
Oh, Zach Taylor, I would have kicked the extra point.
I agree.
I would have kicked the extra. I don't because it's weird because he went for it on 4th and 2 in the first quarter in their own territory.
Yeah,
like I've said it before. Zach Taylor to me is not a good head coach.
The only reason I could kind of agree with going for 2 is because the defense hadn't got a stop.
I get it. Like, I understand your rationale, but at this point, your season is on the line. Like, since he lost this game, they can't lose another game. Otherwise, they're officially out. Right? So, I mean, a lot of things will have to go their way for them to have a chance to even squeak in as a wild card at this point. So,
in my opinion, you just kick the field goal and then if I'm a coach, especially in that situation, I don't know if this is like selfish, but if we lose the game, I want it to be because they beat us more so than I made a decision.
Dude, listen,
like, you know what I mean?
Kick the extra point, and give your quarterback who's been running up and down he's been going all up and down the field on the Ravens defense. Give Joe Burrow a shot, right?
In overtime.
Give him a 50-50 chance. You flip the coin, you call it. Y'all might get the ball, and you might score. You might win the game.
Y'all might not get the ball and might get a stop.
Right? I absolutely, I would have kicked the extra point because, dude, like, at that point, the momentum had shifted so much.
It was going back and forth. I will say
it was, but like, I feel like in that moment, like, if you're Cincy, you kick that, you go to overtime. Okay, Baltimore's like, man, we got to reset. And again, that goes back to my whole thing with Baltimore, right? Time and time again, they've come out and not really this game, but like for the most part this season, right? They come out, they dominate, and then in the fourth quarter, they let their foot off the gas. Mm-hmm. Right? So that just plays into my whole thing with them again. No, yeah, if I'm Zach Taylor, I absolutely kick the extra point.
I agree.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. I think Cincy needs to start looking at him. I keep talking about more changes coming and he's getting hotter. I think they need to start looking at him because
I think
he's probably not going to get fired. Mike Brown's cheap. Zach Brown ain't demanding too much. He doesn't seem like he demands too much of his owner. He's probably not going nowhere. But I'm just saying, if I'm Cincy, like I don't think Zach Brown is the guy. Or I'm sorry,
Zach Taylor.
Zach Brown. Yeah. Zach Taylor. I don't think Zach Taylor is the guy to get them over the hump. Me personally.
I can see that. If it's how do you, there's not really much you can build off of a Super Bowl appearance other than winning. But
no,
that was like their ceiling, and it's just been downhill
and like
since.
You know what I'm saying?
So it's like maybe if he had at least got back or got close to getting back, there's not
all smoke, no cigar.
Right,
all smoke.
I
no
could
cigar.
definitely see him being on the hot seat, or I could understand him being on the hot seat.
I think he should be on the hot seat.
Right.
I think he should be.
Exactly.
I think Sean, me personally, I think Sean McDermott from the Bills, I think he's a better head coach than Zach Taylor. But Sean McDermott, he might be on the hot seat after this season. We'll see. I don't know. Baltimore or Buffalo, they're starting to squeak out games. Josh Allen is starting to turn the ball over a little bit, so we'll see. We'll see.
Definitely.
We'll see how that plays out. But okay, Derrick Henry is your MVP right now. God, dude, like, because this season is it's the renaissance of the running back, right? Like, the running backs are back, right? Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, Joe Mixon, all these guys are balling on their new teams. To a lesser degree,
Aaron Jones was looking good.
Aaron Jones, yes. What's the guy's name? With the Chargers, J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins looking really good. Like, running the football is back now, apparently, right? So yeah, no, God.
Could have fooled us. Although Rico Dowdle, when he gets the ball and he gets his opportunities, he hasn't looked bad.
Yeah.
I can't be mad at the performance Rico's giving.
Do you think he has the capabilities of being like y'all's featured back?
No. I still want to.
You still want to get it running back?
Address that this offseason.
Yeah. No, I get you.
What he was given and what the offensive line gave him, and just our run scheme in general.
Right.
I can't be too mad at
he's made the most of his opportunity.
Right.
He's with whatever limited opportunities he gets. But
even Zeke, up until that fumble, I wasn't too mad at what he had given us.
Right. The whole season Zeke has not been.
That's what I've been more mad at the run scheme than the running backs.
Right.
I do think they weren't the best out of
you could have had Derrick Henry.
I still think in terms of ability wise, we definitely did have one of the worst running back rooms in the league.
Right.
But I think the run scheme was the biggest benefactor to that. You
can have talented players, but the scheme is bad, dude. It doesn't matter. Right, that's just a reality of the situation.
Before Deuce Vaughn was getting healthy scratches, he was getting halfback dives and just slamming him up the middle like he was
He's a future guy. Yeah, no, it's just that's coaching. That's just bad coaching right there. Dang. Okay, hold on. My MVP, my Missy's MVP. Dude, I might be with you on Derrick Henry, man. I want it. You know what it is for me? Don't get me wrong, I'd love for Lamar to get a third one, and it's like, okay, like this guy's like starting to really separate himself from everybody else. I think he would have to he's putting up numbers, but he would have to finish the season on a heater, right? Throwing the ball, running the ball. Like he's already, and running the ball, he's going to do that naturally, right? But God, dude, for me, I may say Derrick Henry, but I won't be surprised if Lamar gets it. Derrick, he might mess around. Dude, if Derrick Henry gets 2,000 yards in what would we say, 16 games?
If he gets 2,000 yards and 16 touchdowns.
Oh, man.
I think he gets it because he scored a touchdown in every game so far.
Yep. Yes, he has. Yeah, he has.
So even if he doesn't even have, if he just gets to 15 touchdowns, I think with 2,000, close to 2,000.
That'd be great. That'd be great for running backs.
Because if he gets 2,000 yards, he'll probably have 300-400, maybe 500. If he gets 2,500 total yards,
because then no, yeah, absolutely. Saquon's scrimmage yards is crazy right now. He's already well over 1,000 yards for his scrimmage.
Yeah,
he averages I think 125 scrimmage yards per game.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, definitely ridiculous.
Nah, yeah, dude. If Derrick Henry won MVP, that'd be great for running backs. That'd be great for running backs. Dudes would start getting paid again. Running backs would probably start getting valued more in the drafts. Right? The last running back we saw get drafted in the first round was Jahmyr Gibbs.
I don't think they'll get paid again, even if he gets MVP. No, I think
Well, even I say forget the MVP. I mean, look. I mean, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley. They signed like relatively modest deals, right? Josh Jacobs in Green Bay. We forgot him too.
Yeah.
He's on a 1-year deal in Green Bay. It said 4 years, $48 million, but his is only 1 year guaranteed. Like he could get cut after this year and be back on the market again. So
right now, Derrick Henry has 1,200. He has over 1,200 total yards and 14 total touchdowns. So
see what I'm
if he
saying?
can get that to 2,500, he'll have 20 plus touchdowns.
He's at 1,200 total yards right now, and you said 14 total touchdowns.
No. I said he'll be at like 20 total touchdowns.
He's at 14 right now.
He's at 14 right now. He has 12 rushing, 2 receiving.
We're only in nine games into the season.
This
guy has 14 touchdowns.
That's got to be Derrick Henry,
dude. Yeah, no, yeah. If Baltimore finishes, if they keep steamrolling guys, right. No, it has to be Derrick Henry. Unless, like I said, Lamar would have to put up like outstanding numbers throwing the football, and he can do it. We'll see.
Right,
he's capable of doing it. We'll just see. Dang, yeah, no, it has to be Derrick Henry. That's crazy. But looking ahead a little bit.
That's why Jamal's killing in fantasy right now.
Does he have Derrick Henry?
He has Derrick Henry and Lamar. That's his starting quarterback and running back.
Jamal has. Oh my god!
He lost his first 2 games because that's when Baltimore
they were trying to figure it out.
They were still figuring it out. He's won like 7 straight.
That's crazy.
I think he lost this week though.
I gotta check.
I gotta check. Yeah,
that's funny. Shout out to Jamal. Okay, yeah. Hold on. Looking ahead a little bit. This Thursday night football for us.
Mm-hmm.
We got Washington.
Yep. How you feeling about that going into it?
I'm feeling good. Like I said, on talent, I feel like look. I've said it before. On talent alone, I feel like we have the best roster in football. I'm not gonna lie. Washington, Dan Quinn. They've some would say overachieved. They had a huge roster overall this past offseason. They brought in a lot of guys, drafted a lot of guys. Actually, funny enough, one of Michigan's former players, Mike Sandestro, he got drafted there. He's one of their starting corners. He's been really good for them. I'm not gonna lie. Jaden Daniels, they were talking about him for MVP at first, but I was like, just calm down a little bit. But Jaden Daniels, he's obviously their franchise guy. Him and Terry McLaurin, they got a real solid connection. Terry McLaurin literally said, like, this is the best quarterback I've ever played with.
Yeah, for sure.
Washington, they got a pretty good squad over there, man. They're the second best team in the NFC East right now, in my opinion. Behind us, obviously. It's a good team over there, man. I don't know if Marshawn Lattimore is going to make his debut because he didn't play last week for them. Remember, they traded for him.
Right.
Former all-pro corner from the Saints. I don't know if he's going to make his debut this Thursday. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. It's a hamstring injury, I think, with him. But look, my expectation is for us to go in there and dominate, dog. We got Saquon Barkley, we got A.J. Brown, we got Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. We got a fully healthy offense and a fully healthy defense. All right, and I just, if we play at our best, there's only a few teams in my mind that should be able to play with us and hang around with us. All right, we got a rookie quarterback coming in. We got Vic Fangio, a defensive coordinator with 30 years of NFL coaching experience. Right? If you're telling me that man can't scheme up a way to get Jaden Daniels off his spot, then what are we doing? Right? So, no, I'm feeling good about it. Obviously, I'm taking it one game at a time. Again, Washington's a good team. I'm not going to say they're not. But no, I'm expecting us to go in there and really start to run away with it, man. Give Saquon the ball. Kellen Moore, please give Saquon the ball.
Simple.
Give Saquon the ball.
Simple.
Because, again, I've said it before, you feed Saquon, what's going to happen is they're going to load the box and you're going to have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith one-on-one on the outside. And I'm taking that matchup every time. All right. So, man, Jalen Hurts, he's got to play clean, decisive football, right? Be clear with your reads, be fast with your reads. Don't try to force it. I've said it before and I'll say it again. As long as Jalen Hurts plays clean, he plays his game, I'm cool. We're cool. It's when he starts pressing, right? Or he starts missing reads or making the wrong reads. That's when things go haywire. So, no, I'm feeling good, man. Obviously, again, Washington's no slouch. Nick Sirianni better be able to manage the game well. Dan Quinn, I mean, hey, man, say what you want. He's coached a team to a Super Bowl, and he's coached a morbid Washington team to a 7-2 record right now with a rookie quarterback. So the man clearly knows how to do something right.
Yeah.
All right. So, obviously you just come in, divisional opponent, right? Divisional games are always tough. And Washington's a good team now, so we got to watch out for that. But all in all, feeling good, man. We just got to go in there and do our jobs, man. That's all I'm praying for. Go in there, do our jobs. Could it be a close game? Yes. Should it be? No, in my opinion. So, come Thursday night, we will find out.
Yes, we will. I think it'll be a pretty good game.
Right.
I think the Commanders have shown that they're, like we said, we both picked them as our sleeper teams coming into the season.
Yep.
But I think a lot of the rest of the league I will say a lot of what are they, 6-3?
They're 7-2.
7-2?
They're 7-2.
7-2. I do know their 2 losses have came against the only 2 above 500 teams that they've played.
Right.
So
right. Yeah, so we'll see. They're about to play a really good team in us.
Exactly.
So we'll see where we'll see where they really stand in terms of like the better teams in the league. But looking ahead even a little bit further, y'all got Houston Monday night.
Right.
How are you feeling about that? Are you even?
I'll keep it short and sweet. Houston should dominate, even with the injuries they face. I think Nico is coming. I think
he's getting close.
Right. He should be.
He's getting close.
Not back. They wouldn't even need him. Even without Stephon Diggs, I still think they have a lot of talent in there on that team. They should dominate.
This should be a fix-it game for them.
Yeah,
right?
Honestly. This should absolutely be a get-right game.
Dang. Who would have thought 9 games in, we're talking about Dallas in 2025.
Yeah, it really just boils down to
injuries, bad coaching.
Yeah, simply
all the above.
Because the bad coaching, you might be able to overcome a lot of the poor efforts in some places, but right. When injuries is just
poor moves in free agency.
Even a lot of things. Those are things you might be able to overcome, but like once you're starting quarterback and once everybody goes down like that, the season's automatically over, and that reminds me of like what another thing I wanted to say about when it comes to a lot of quarterbacks in the tier list and everything. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, it really comes down to preference. And so for me, I would prefer Dak Prescott especially because as a Cowboys fan, I've only had 2 quarterbacks. And they've both been, at this point, we can say Dak has become injury prone. He's faced his second season ending injury
in the last, 3-4 seasons?
The first one was in 2020. That was the first one. So in 9 seasons, he's had 2.
Yeah.
But even in between that, he's had nagging injuries. He's missed games.
Right.
He's missed a couple games every season since that.
Right.
Season-ending injury in 2020. And before that, we had Tony Romo, and everybody under the sun knows how injury-prone he became.
Right.
So when it comes to having a quarterback who's a better runner, I would not want that because I feel like that is I agree with Jerry in the sense that is the most common way for your quarterback to get injured. I think that putting your quarterback in that position to run the ball, or when he is a rushing quarterback like that, and his first instinct is to run, or you're drawing up plays a lot of the time throughout the game to run the ball. I think last year what we did, I think you should be a threat to run the ball, obviously, and should be able to when it comes down to it.
Right.
But I think it should be almost like a last resort because both of these season-ending injuries for Dak have been on long rushes of him breaking the pocket. The first one was in the Giants game.
He wasn't. I was watching that game. He wasn't scrambling when he hurt his hamstring, though.
Well, he heard it on that run. He scrambled and got the first down, our longest rush of the season, and that's where he said he heard
the pop,
and then he heard the pop, and then I think it was a play or two later on a throw where it like really messed up, but it started with the rush,
right,
with him running the ball.
I think it truly depends. Like I take your point and Jerry's point. I think it just depends. Like Cam Newton, right? The Panthers ran him into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen, the Buffalo got to be careful with that about not running him into the ground. Jalen Hurts, we've gotten real cautious about that too, right? Like, we don't run a lot of QB draws and options like that for him anymore. But like,
I think even Lamar's dealt with injuries before.
Right. But it's funny because like all of Lamar's injuries, and you can look it up, like all of his injuries have come from like in the pocket. Like, he has not gotten hurt after he's gotten popped. And it's funny because, like...
Well, that's the opposite because Dak has only got hurt.
Right. And I think, like, Lamar, he does such a good job of protecting himself out in the open space.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, like, Russell Wilson, he used to do a really good job of that, too. I think dudes also, like, yes, quarterbacks can get hurt running the football. I'm not arguing that. But I think it's also a matter of, like, are you calling... Like, how many plays you calling for your quarterback to hold on to the football? Mm-hmm. You know, does your quarterback know how to protect themselves, right? A lot of quarterbacks don't even know how to slide nowadays.
Did you see him?
Yes.
I don't even want to talk about him.
He needs to retire.
At this point,
he needs to retire.
It's almost like he's trying to hurt himself.
He needs to retire. Tua Tagovailoa needs to retire.
He threw an interception and tried to go for a tackle and like pretty much dove at him with his head. The same way, like the last concussion he got that started this one, he was running the ball and led to try to run somebody over with his head. That is the definition of does not know how to protect himself.
Tua Tagovailoa needs to retire.
The way he plays football is just it's not even like a health risk in terms of because he could get hurt. It's because he could hurt himself. These are almost like it's hard to say that to feel sorry for when he's leading head first. I can't feel
sorry for him anymore, bro. I can't. I'm sorry.
He's leading head first and causing these.
I can't feel sorry for him anymore. I have no empathy for him. He needs to retire.
I'm almost. The only reason he didn't suffer another concussion is because he missed the tackle. That was it's kind of crazy to watch. But yeah, that was just another.
He needs to retire. Tua Tagovailoa needs to retire. Tua, if you catch this, bro, retire. It's okay to move on from football. Period. Point blank. The end. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Birds at the Rodeo. I am Eric, your residential Eagles fan.
I'm Orlando, the resident Cowboys fan.
And this is Birds at the Rodeo. Please like, comment, subscribe, follow us on YouTube, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on TikTok,
Instagram.
On that
notification bell
Turn on that notification bell. All right. We are coming. You can find us anywhere you can find podcasts. You literally have no excuses anymore.
Repost us, retweet us, like anything we post. Get us right.
Get us right, because we're trying to get y'all right. All right. And then again, I'm sure I speak for Lando, and I say we appreciate all y'all tuning in and listening every week. Until next week, peace.
Later.
Jamal with a stroke of genius.